venue when the shots were fired, when Charlie Kirk was shot. That's what we've got here from the west side of UVU campus. We'll continue to be here, but we'll send it for now back to you, Brooke and Tamara, in the studio.
Daniel Woodruff reporting live from UVU campus, where earlier today Charlie Kirk was shot. And we are hearing from the AP, who has confirmed that Charlie Kirk is in critical condition at a hospital, again, after being shot at this event held at UVU.
And though we don't know any other medical details on that, I think that's an exhale for a lot of people right now to at least hear the initial report of critical condition. The shot was fired. He recoiled. Bystanders describe him recoiling and immediately falling to the ground. It was quite a visually traumatic scene. But that's the latest update we can give, is that he is in critical condition. Dan Rascone is live there on the campus of Utah Valley University. Dan, orient us as to where you are.
Yeah, pretty incredible scene out here as far as talking to students. But let me give you a little idea as to where we're at here. Many of you, of course, know where the UCC Youth Center is at. We're just north of it right here. You can see all the traffic here, people trying to get out of this location, traffic completely backed up, a lot of cops, a lot of officers from a variety of different agencies all out here trying to be able to kind of lock down the campus, of course. And we've been hearing from students all along here. Many of these students right here, all these students have their own story. Let's start at the end here and kind of get your reaction. It's Ike,
yes,
did you
sir.
say? Okay, Ike, tell me a little bit about where you were at, how close you were, and what you saw.
Yeah, so I was about 20 yards off the right-hand side of Charlie. Obviously, it's a traumatic thing. Nobody should have to see that in their lifetime. The taking of a life is hurtful and hard to see. But, you know, we were talking about, he was having a conversation with somebody about gun violence, actually. And he was hit in kind of the left upper neck area, kind of in the carotid artery area. And it was just a traumatic thing to see. I feel bad for all these wonderful students and alumni that were present and had to see that. It's a tough thing to see, but obviously it's a very serious thing that we need to all be able to work through and work through together as a community and come together and really rally around Charlie and his family. Nobody should have to worry about their father or husband going out and doing the things that he loves, and that's a tough thing to see.
How many shots did you hear, and what happened right after he was hit? What was the mood of the crowd?
Yeah, one shot rang out. From what I heard, I don't know if anybody else heard different. One shot rang out and hit Charlie, struck Charlie, and I don't know if it's angels or good bystanders who jumped in and stopped more shots from coming, but I'm grateful that if somebody did, they deserve high praise. One shot hit Charlie, one shot rang out, lots of chaos, lots of panic. It's hard to stay cool, calm, and collected in those moments. And so, yeah.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Stick around for just a minute, if you don't mind. Your name and just what you saw, where you were at, what you heard.
My name's Kaya Meek, and then we were just about 50 feet from the left of him. And then I just remember he was on his second conversation, and then that's when the shot came. And then we just saw his head jerk back and shoulder. And we immediately just turned and dropped to the ground, and then saw people start getting up and running. So we followed in with that, and were able to get to the apartment, get in with a really kind girl that started driving us. And then,
how scary was this? What was the mood there?
It was just really terrifying. I mean, I was kind of in shock, because I was like, no way that just happened, you know. But I'm definitely very grateful that there was only one shot and stuff, or else I think that a lot more people could have been injured.
Okay, thank you very much. And where were you at, and what did you hear there in the scene?
Yeah, I was with Kaya, and we were just 50 to 100 feet to the left, and just heard a shot, and then just saw his head fly back, and he just slumped in his chair and saw blood coming down his shirt, and then people just yelling, "Get down!" and then just see a flood of people going throughout these doors, so just ran and followed them.
Wow. You know, we hear about school shootings or university shootings, those kind of things. To actually be in there when it's happening, your thoughts about that?
I mean, you just never expect it to happen. You're just going to this event. You're not expecting anything to happen. So it's definitely shocking when something happens like that.
Tell me about why Charlie Kirk. What was it about? You wanted to go hear him, or what happened there?
He's on social media. I've seen a lot of him do a lot of debates. We just thought it'd be cool to come see him debate a couple people.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. And share with us where you were at and kind of what you saw.
Yeah, I was about 50 feet to his right, and I want to say that, like, he only got 1.5 questions in. The first question, he was very graceful when confronted about comparing Mormons to Protestant. And then the next question, right before he got shot, was asking about transgender mass shooters and the DOJ wanting to take their guns. And then he got a few words in, and then I heard that one shot rang out, and then he fell over to his left, and everybody panicked.
Okay. Man, thank you guys very much. I appreciate that. And boy, what a traumatic experience for all of these students here. Again, we're on the north side there of the UCCU Event Center here. Again, let me just kind of show you just traffic right here. You can see traffic completely still backed up. Everybody's still trying to get out of this location here. But you heard the stories there, you know, one after another. Just these are students that are just right there in the middle of it, and all of a sudden to have something like this happen right in front of them and witness something like this, just a very traumatic thing. But again, trying to get out of the north side here of the campus, boy, it is just a parking lot here. This, of course, happened, you know, about 12:30, right around there, a little bit after, and still here we are with traffic just really congested and everybody trying to get out of this location. We'll go ahead and send it back to you guys, and we'll continue to get more information out here and come back to you as soon as we have some more.
All right, Dan Rascon reporting live from the Utah Valley University campus there. And just to update you with the latest information that we've received, the AP reporting that Charlie Kirk is in a hospital in critical condition at this time.
The AP also reporting a few more details at the moment of impact. They described Charlie Kirk reaching up to grab his neck, right hand grabbing left side of the neck. There's quite a bit of blood. People describe it as very traumatic. He slumped to the floor, recoiled and slumped to the floor, and his security detail immediately assumed this scene. We have Jody Reynosa live on the campus of UVU. Jody, what can you tell us from where you're at?
Let me show you what I'm seeing here. You know, people keep mentioning the traffic as students, faculty, people try to get out and off of campus. But right down here, you can see just the line, the very long line of traffic. And then with people trying to get out of, you know, this exit area, it's just taking them a very long time. Some tense moments in the aftermath of this horrific shooting. Now, I'm here on campus just outside of the Wolverine services, and I also have, now there's probably about approximately 50,000 students that attend UVU, and I'm here with Marta Villa. She's a third-year student, and she wasn't there at the event, but she was in class, and still some very tense moments. Marta Villa, tell me, what was that experience like for you?
I mean, it was terrifying. None of us knew what was going on. I was just in class. Someone heard a stampede of people running down the hallway. They checked it out, and immediately they like locked the doors, just go in. There's been a shooting.
How were you feeling in those moments?
I think we were all terrified. I mean, yeah, I was very terrified. I didn't know what was going on. Yeah, I just wanted more information.
Now, there are people who have talked about, you know, I wish there were metal detectors and, you know, maybe some more safety measures going on. One thing that terrified you were telling me earlier, is that the doors wouldn't lock. So tell me about that experience.
Yeah, we tried to lock the doors, but we were having issues with that. So the boys in the class, the men in our class, just were guarding the doors.
So they barricaded themselves across the door, basically, to help people?
Yeah, they were just standing by the doors just to make sure no one came in.
You hear about all these things happening across the nation, and folks here in Utah, you know, they don't think it's going to happen here in Orem, you know, Orem-Provo area. What are your thoughts on that? Have you ever experienced anything like that?
No, I have not experienced anything like that, and I think no one would have thought this was going to happen, but unfortunately it did.
As you've talked to other classmates or other people in your cohort here at UVU, what have they talked about, and what are you kind of maybe reassuring them about?
Oh, I haven't talked to anyone really except my family, and they're just asking me what's going on, if I'm okay, and I think everyone is just wondering if he's okay and if the shooter was detained, which I found out he was, and so that was good news.
Any fear to come back on campus?
No, I think we have this under control, and I think our police are doing a good job of detaining and making sure everything's under control here.
Thank you so much, Marta. So as Marta was saying, you know, there's a heavy police presence here, armed. You can see their rifles out. A lot of them have been in unmarked vehicles. So there is a, you know, heavy law enforcement presence because they want to assure that, you know, everybody's going to stay safe. Nothing like this happens again today or in the future. And so you've heard it from Marta, her experience, and how nerve-wracking to have the doors in your classroom not lock. So you can, you know, we'll be having more information unfold as we get more details, but I'll send it back to you.
Jody Reynoso reporting live for us from Utah Valley University. Appreciate the update there. Let's go ahead and check back in with Daniel Woodruff, who is also there at the UVU campus. And Daniel, you've been able to talk to folks there on the ground as well, getting their perspective of what happened at this event. As we know, the UVU campus has since been closed, but still a lot of people trickling in and a huge police presence.
Yeah, we're here on the west side of the Utah Valley University campus, and campus has been closed, as you said. Classes have all been canceled for the day. People have been asked to leave. As we got here, we saw a very long line of vehicles trying to get out, so there was a major congestion due to that. But campus is closed here at UVU due to the shooting of Charlie Kirk. And I am joined now by Sarah, who is originally from Draper, a Utah Valley University student. I understand you were inside, and it's been a traumatic thing to witness. Tell me a little bit about what you saw and how you've been feeling.
Yeah, so I mean, it's been a little bit over an hour, over an hour since it's happened, and my heart is still racing and I'm still shaking a bit. It's definitely scary. Basically, Charlie Kirk came out at about like 12:06. And everybody was super excited to have him there. And the first student stepped up and they had a conversation about like Mormonism and Christianity. And then after that, they had another student step up to talk about transgenderism and the violence and gun violence that's been surrounding that recently. And that is when Charlie Kirk was shot. It was in the neck, and I watched the blood just spurt out all over his body as he slumped over and fell down. I believed that he was dead on impact, but it sounds like he is in critical condition. So big prayers going out to him, hoping that everything is okay. After the shooting, everybody was kind of shocked, and everybody fell to the ground. Everyone was screaming and really frantic. My mom was with me, and she looked up at me and said, "Run." So me and my friend grabbed hands and we ran out of the building, out across the street, all the way to Bucked Up, across from Utah Valley, and just waited there. And we had a sweet retired law enforcement officer kind of help us out and make sure that we were safe. So, because processing something like this, I mean, you mentioned your heart is still racing and probably still replaying what it is you saw and heard. Oh yeah, 100%. It's definitely really traumatic, and I didn't really realize how shocked and traumatized I was until, I mean, at least 30 minutes after. I was really, you know, I just couldn't stop crying, and I mean, it's so sad and it's so evil. So yeah, I'm just glad nobody else got hurt, but big prayers out to Charlie Kirk and his family.
And from your description, Sarah, it sounds like you were sitting fairly close to the front.
Yeah, I was in the 4th row back. That's when I saw him just get hit right in the neck, lower neck, and just blood spurting out all over. It was awful.
You had come here to this event to hear him speak. Why did you want to come, and what were your thoughts about him as you made the decision to be here on a Wednesday morning?
Yeah, so I have classes today, or did have classes. I had my morning class, and afterwards I went to see Charlie Kirk. I mean, he's an awesome guy. I agree with all of his political stances, and I was really excited to see him, especially at my own university. So yeah, just going out there to support him before my next class, and what a traumatizing experience it was. So. Yeah,
and I think a lot could be said for the fact that at an event like this, something like that happens. Have you been thinking about that since this occurred?
Yeah, definitely. I thought it was really ironic that he started talking about gun violence right when he was shot. I mean, it's just awful. And honestly, Charlie is a hero. I truly believe that, and I believe his family are also heroes, and I wish the best for them.
And finally, Sarah, what about you personally? Because witnessing something like this, I can only imagine. I have not witnessed something like that. And so where do you go from here, and what do you think about as you process this tragic day?
Yeah, good question. I'm definitely going to be seeing my counselor. I will have a lot of therapy, and honestly, I think it's just going to bring me closer to God. And yeah, through the whole experience, just lots of prayers, and yeah, it's going to be a lot of personal work.
Sarah, I really appreciate you spending a few minutes. Thank you. Best to you and your mom.
Thank you so much.
So here on the west side of campus, that's just yet another voice of someone who was at this event. And the event happened just right behind us. In fact, I'll step out of the way and let photographer Ray here zoom in again just to show you. And I know we've seen a number of vantage points of this, but that tent in the distance, just past that overpass, is where Charlie Kirk was speaking. And then all of those bleacher-type places in the foreground, or background, I guess, that is where people were sitting. In fact, from this distance, a lot of law enforcement are on scene, and there is crime scene tape up around the area. This is about as close as we can get from this particular vantage point, but we see police from just in this area, Utah Valley University, Provo, Orem, and then other agencies as well have responded in addition to federal agents. And so this is now sort of eerily quiet on the west side of campus. A lot of people have moved on, left campus. We're just seeing some stragglers walking through, but it seems like everyone who walks by was there. They heard what happened, or they saw what happened, and then many of them ran in the aftermath of the shooting. And as you heard with Sarah there talking to me, her heart's still racing. This was a terrifying, scary ordeal for her to witness and to process, and certainly that's only just beginning for her to deal with the feelings and emotions of what she's seen. So that's the latest from the west side of the campus. We'll send it back to you for now in studio.
Daniel Woodruff, we appreciate that. I can't imagine for those folks who were there describing that traumatic scene.
Absolutely. Let's go to news specialist Alex Cabrera. He's at another vantage point on campus. Alex, you've been talking to people. What are you hearing now?
Right. We've been in a parking lot here for about an hour or so, chatting with some people, some students, some others who just came here for this debate. And you can still see there is still a little bit of traffic as people continue to leave this area, trying to get back to wherever they're going to. But I'm going to interview somebody named Taylor Westmoreland, and she's special to me because this is actually my niece. I've never really interviewed a family member before, but Taylor was on campus when this happened, heard the gunshots, and so I found out she was here, so that's kind of terrifying when you have a family member here. But Taylor, tell me, what did you tell everybody? What did you hear? You know what I mean? What did you hear, and then what happened?
Yeah, my friend and I got there pretty late, and so when we arrived, we were right in the building behind him, and we just heard a gunshot, and everyone just started screaming. It was really chaotic, and we just ended up turning and running. There was just crowds of people screaming, and then just like shooter, gun, and then we ended up getting outside, but it was chaotic for a really long time, really scary.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, like what do you do when you hear that? Gun, shots.
Yeah.
You freak out. But
I was kind of like in disbelief for a second, and when everyone was running, and then, yeah, I just started booking it. My friend threw her drink, and we just got out of there like as fast as we could. But
this is always something that happens somewhere else.
Yeah, no, it's odd to be a part of something like this. It's horrible, of course, and really sad for him and his family, but yeah, it was really scary. I'm glad everyone got out okay.
Okay, Taylor, give me a hug. I'm happy you're doing okay, and that we've met up and that you're doing well.
Okay.
Thanks, Taylor. Didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No, you're
Thanks,
good.
Taylor.
Thank you.
So that's, again, I know that my niece is a student here, so I heard that she was here and kind of like wasn't answering her phone at first, and hoping everything's okay, and I'm happy she's okay. But just one of the many people here that just came out just to hear a debate, to be a part of something like this. Charlie Kirk is a big personality. A lot of people like what he has to say. A lot of people don't like what he has to say. But either way, on a college campus, you think this is something where you would maybe hear something you don't believe in or something that you do believe in. And then something like this happens. So it is sad. A lot of people witnessed this. I heard one of the interviews I think my colleague Daniel Woodruff was doing where one witness said he saw the blood. And that's just... it's sad. You know, how do you decompress from something like that? You know what I mean? And that's what a lot of students are doing right now, just decompressing from something they saw today. And it's just an unfortunate situation. But traffic moving along, people continue to get out of here, and we will chat with some more students about their thoughts on this whole thing as we continue our coverage here. Back to you.
Well, Alex, we appreciate that. You know, there are so many students on campus right now for that event. It's hard when this hits home and it becomes then one of your own family members who is there at the event, and you're worried for her safety, of course, and glad everything's okay. Thank you for that report.
And we are continuing to get new information about Charlie Kirk being shot. AP reporting that Charlie Kirk is in critical condition at a local hospital. And this is something that we are certainly going to continue covering. We do have several reporters out there on the UVU campus. We do want to go ahead and check in with Andrew Adams. Andrew, as we've been hearing from Alex and Daniel and Dan, there are folks still trickling in, although campus is closed right now, giving us their perspective of just how traumatic that experience was.
Well, an extremely traumatic experience for a lot of people, especially when there were deep feelings about Charlie Kirk. A lot of people love Charlie Kirk, and to see this happen in front of him was just unbelievable to them. Getting in and out of campus is pretty wild right now, with the campus essentially being evacuated after this and the school being closed for the rest of the day. You have a lot of traffic backup migrating out. These two students here decided to chat with us for a minute. They're just waiting out the wait, which is quite long, and I appreciate you being willing to talk with us. Austin Watson, Sierra Arbon, you were there this afternoon. Just tell me how it went down from your eyes.
I mean, it was pretty chaotic with all the people. There was hundreds and hundreds of people in attendance that were just listening. I mean, he had a huge support here. Everyone was cheering for him. There was obviously some protesters too. And then it was honestly pretty hard to hear. So I guess what had happened was someone asked him a question about gun violence, and then we heard a shot. And for a second, it was like, it didn't even feel like it was like actually happening. It almost sounded like a firecracker. And then from where I was standing, I wasn't right up next to him, but I saw him double over, and then everybody like went down to the ground. And then after a few seconds, it was just like a sea of people just trying to get out of there. And yeah, there's videos you can see online. There's just, everyone's coming out full speed, and there's phones on the ground, AirPods, like everything. Everyone's just leaving all their stuff, and it was pretty chaotic. So it was crazy.
Sarah, you were watching that. What went through your mind as this was just happening?
A lot of things were going through my mind. I was thinking about how I wasn't supposed to be there today and how I was supposed to be at work, but then it got canceled. And I was scared. It was a scary situation, but kind of along the same lines as Austin, I thought at first that it was a firecracker, and then I realized that was a gunshot, because I'm short, so I didn't see above the crowd. I couldn't really see Charlie when it happened, but yeah, it was scary.
What interested you most about Charlie Kirk and why you came out today?
Well, I would say he's just an interesting person. I honestly haven't listened to a ton of his stuff, but I knew that he is like a pretty strong conservative Republican figure, and I lean more that way. So I just was interested to see what questions other students at UVU had to ask, and what his response would be to them is really it.
Austin, you followed him a little bit more. Tell me just your thoughts.
Yeah, no, I mean, I really respect Charlie as a person. He's a great person. He's a family guy, a good Christian. Like, he has strong beliefs. They chatted a lot about religion right before it happened. I mean, there was only one question before the shooting, but I really think he's a great person, and he sticks up for what he believes in, and I respect that. And I enjoy watching him debate people. He knows what he's talking about, and he comes from a state of logic, and I respect that a lot. And so I've watched his videos for a while, for years now, honestly. So I think, yeah, he's a really interesting person. I was pretty excited to hear that he was coming to Utah so that he could see, you know, what Utah's about and have his support group here, because I know a lot of people really respect him here. So it's pretty sad that it had to happen here.
Well, I was going to say, just the fact that there was a shooting, he was shot at an event like this. Your thoughts about that?
Honestly, it's kind of shocking just seeing how many hundreds and hundreds of people were there in support of him. And, you know, I think it's really sad. I think people are trying to prove a point. It didn't change my thoughts on the right to bear arms at all. And so it seems like it was kind of for nothing. And I think people just want recognition, and they want to think they're doing something in support of their beliefs, and I think that's pretty messed up. So.
Austin Watts, Sierra Arbonne, I appreciate you being willing to chat with me for a few minutes. Everybody just trying to take this in, what happened here at UVU, and of course, trying to get away from campus is going to take a while. If I can actually just push the camera over here, I didn't prep Stuart for this, but if you look over here, there's this line of cars, and so it's going to take a while. Just getting in here is tough, getting out of here is tough. Some people just wanting to sit it out because there is no easy way out of campus as it has been closed, and as police, as we've seen, have been sweeping the grounds here. So we're going to change positions from where we are. We'll bring you more, but toss it back to the studio for now.
All right, Andrew, thank you for that update. We have an important update that we want to bring you now. Earlier, this is NBC reporting that the university had confirmed that they had the suspect in custody. Now they are saying they do not have the suspect in custody. That may help explain why the campus has been on lockdown, why they have not been allowing people in and out of the university. We can't confirm that report, but that's the latest on the status of what they had reported earlier.
And again, Charlie Kirk reportedly shot in the neck while visiting UVU during his Prove Me Wrong tour. We understand he is in critical condition. We are checking in with our news specialist that we have out there on campus. Let's go ahead and check in with Jody Reynosa right now. You are in one of the parking lots near where this event was taking place and had a chance to talk to some folks who were there and witnessed this.
That is correct. In fact, we are still seeing such heavy traffic, as everybody's mentioned before. Here is an egress right here. Pretty much every artery going in and out of campus is just packed. Because right here it looks like, oh, maybe there's a lull in traffic. Nope, you turn this way. I'm having Greg turn this way, and you have a whole line of traffic trying to exit. And parking lots right now, I'm seeing they're packed because of some students just wanting to kind of, wait it out, see what's happening. Now, let me point you to the direction. Students are telling us that in between these buildings, so you see on the right side, there's like these little pyramids on the top of that roof, and then you see the building to the left. Well, the venue was right between those buildings. We're not able to go close at this point, but that just gives you a perspective as to where students in that they are high school students, okay? They are at Cedar Valley in their senior year. They were just here on campus, though, to take a test. So I'm here with Ryder Warner and Kylie Stoffer. Okay, Ryder, let's start with you. Tell us, what was going on, because you were there at the venue when it first happened.
Yes, ma'am. We were driving past it. So when we passed it, obviously you have all the news cameras, all the cameras pointing towards them, all the students rushing in to go and see what's going on. So we got to witness that, and just a normal talk by Charlie Kirk. It was kind of cool to see Charlie Kirk here. We watch him on TV a lot, watch his clips a lot on YouTube, whatnot. So it was cool to see that. I was in a rush for a test, so I didn't get to stop and see, but I did get to see the venue. It was super pretty. Whole student body was there. It was super pretty to see. Got here, and it seemed like everything was in chaos. They were super hesitant about letting us test.
Before we get to the test, though, I want to just take us back to where you were in the venue, because you said you actually witnessed the shooting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so when they shot, it was, I wasn't actually there. I just saw it afterwards, the aftermath. The cops rushing up, the helicopters flying in. I just saw videos afterwards. It was probably 2 minutes after I left that I actually got to see what happened. So when
you got video from a student, another student, because you said it was very gruesome. What do you mean by that?
Yes, ma'am. The video I had showed the side camera of it, so it was him getting shot in the neck, and you can just see his neck go limp and all the blood come out, stuff like that. Super gruesome scene. I'm super glad I didn't see it in person.
Did you, at that moment, did you go to, what is going on? I mean, what were you thinking at that point?
Definitely panic mode. As soon as I saw that, I knew, well, I'm here on campus. I don't think they're going to let us test, and sure enough, they didn't. Obviously, super panicked. I felt for him, watching him for years. I definitely felt a little bit of sorrow for his family, too. But yeah, state of panic, and definitely just a little bit hurt for him and his family. He is a dad of 2 kids.
Now, it's unique being that you're in high school and you watch Charlie Kirk. You know, you said that your dad and grandpa watch him, and last night you were watching a YouTube video, is that right? And you didn't even know he was going to be here.
I didn't even know he was going to be here. He popped up on my For You page on TikTok, and I was just scrolling through, and I love watching his debates, especially as somebody who's big into English. I was watching his debates and learning how he argues, and I actually definitely based a lot of what he does into my own life, which is big for me, you know, being a student, especially being in an English class.
Now, does he ever talk about violence, or is it, you mentioned he was more Christian-based, and so this seems just out of the ordinary?
It is absolutely out of the ordinary. I can't believe that this even happened. He never talks about violence. You know, it's not something he's big into. He's just into the argumentative side. He loves getting other people's perspectives. He definitely can get under people's skin just because, in like any argument, you know, you're arguing against somebody or against what they're saying, and I guess that just got to him, and somebody finally decided to act on it.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Ryder, we're going to be back with Kylie a little bit later, but we're going to throw it back to you.
Jody Reynosa reporting live from UVU. Again, if you are just joining us, breaking news, Charlie Kirk shot there on the UVU campus as part of his comeback tour. We understand that as he was speaking here at Utah Valley University today, he was also scheduled to bring his American Comeback Tour to Utah State University, and that was going to be held on September 30th, so the end of this month. He was going to make several stops, Deanie.
Yeah, we're getting a word of a Utah-based, it's a change.org petition that basically would keep him from coming, and these are based at Utah State University, where he was scheduled to come later this month. The petition had 3,500 signatures. Students, hundreds reportedly today, are joining on that petition to ask board trustees at the university to prevent this Charlie Kirk from coming to their campus. And it's part of a national debate over controversial speakers coming on college campuses and universities' role in balancing the freedom of speech and them hearing these speakers versus protecting the safety of students.
And as we just heard from several folks, you know, they wanted to come out. This is what attracts them to Charlie Kirk, because they're able to have this type of dialogue on college campuses. Of course, it does come with some controversy. We do want to check back in with Daniel Woodruff, who is also there on campus. And Daniel, you've had a chance to talk to people there about some of the sights and sounds that they saw. And talking to some bystanders earlier today, they talked about a very calm event moments before they heard a shot.
Yeah, in fact, I'm joined by two more Utah Valley University students who told me that they were some of the first actually to arrive morning for this event. Logan and Raleigh here. Logan, we'll start with you. What kind of set the scene for me? What was it like this morning when you got here, and then tell me what happened?
Yeah, we arrived, I want to say, an hour and a half before everything went on, and there's a couple hundred people here, pretty chill. But then as things went on, people just gathered. I would say there's thousands of people here. And we thought things were just a little unsecure. We thought, you know,
in terms of security getting in?
Yeah, security getting in. There weren't a lot of officers around, police officers, so we just thought things, I don't know, just it didn't seem right from the beginning, in my opinion.
Raleigh, as you were there, what did you notice as the crowd was kind of settling in, and who was there?
Yeah, so we were all there. We were having a good time, excited to see Charlie. The majority of us were, we support Charlie, and there's a group of other people that were kind of antagonizing us up on this bridge up here. And I don't know, there's definitely some kind of bad feelings towards each other, but we didn't think much of it. Like, we thought the security was a little bit off. Like, there wasn't many people looking around to see if anything suspicious was going on. But I don't know, it's a tragic thing that happened, and really sad, and we don't really wish that on anybody.
And Raleigh, when it happened, where were you, and what did you see or hear?
Yeah, so me and Logan and a couple other my buddies, we were, I don't know, 15 feet away from Charlie, give or take.
Like 5 rows back about.
Like maybe 5 rows back. And all of a sudden, after the first questionnaire, the person asked a question, the second guy walked up, he started saying something, and then we just heard a pop. It sounded like a firework, but it just echoed around. No one really knew what was going on. And everyone kind of just got stunned for like 3 seconds, and then everybody just dogpiled on top of everybody, trying to get low to the ground, mass chaos, and it was pretty scary. Everybody was like freaking out, trying to find people they're with, make sure they're safe. And we didn't know if there was going to be more shots fired or anything. We were like, had no idea.
Logan, were you watching the stage where Charlie was speaking when he was shot?
Yeah, so I actually saw it happen, and it was really disturbing. He fell back, and we all dropped. He was rushed off, and then we all just ran towards this way, like through that bridge under there. So, yeah, it was just really disturbing, hard to watch.
We know that this event had attracted some controversy with the petition to try to cancel it, but as you were here and as the event began, I mean, I imagine that it felt like you were surrounded by people who were like-minded or who at least supported him being here to speak.
Yeah, I would say majority of the crowd was for him. There was a lot of chants going on. A lot of the people were for Charlie. There were some people in the back that were, against him, but I would say majority were for him.
And as you've processed what happened, I mean, it's been now I guess a couple of hours. I don't even know what time it is, but what's been going through your mind as you've just sort of been replaying what you watched?
I'm lost for words. I don't know. It's something we'll remember for the rest of our lives, that's for sure. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Obviously super sad and tragic, and I think it's sad that we can't even have a civil conversation anymore. Yeah. It just turns into stuff like this. Like, he has an open mic. Like, if you disagree with him, come talk to him. But apparently that's not what some people want to do, and they want to just have violence and lash out instead of talking through things.
And we love Charlie. We hope he's okay. Yeah, we're praying for him, and we hope everything's all right.
And in terms of engaging with him, that's, as I understand, the point of the tour, correct? Is that he'll answer questions and that it's a back-and-forth engagement.
That's exactly right. So if you disagree with him, he welcomes you up, and he'll try to be respectful. Some people aren't respectful to him, and it kind of gets heated sometimes, but he's open to discuss things with you, and he tries to keep an open mind. So I just think it's sad that other people won't give him the same kind of courtesy.
Well, you guys are students here. You're from Utah County. Any final thoughts you'd like to share?
Just prayers out to Charlie and his family, and
stay safe.
Yeah.
Well, Logan and Raleigh, I appreciate it. Thank you for spending a few minutes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
So some more perspectives here from the west side of the Utah Valley University campus, and the campus is closed now as a result of this shooting for the rest of the day. No classes are being held. I did want to note that I got an alert from BYU, which is not too many miles from here in Provo. They sent out an alert noting that their campus remains open, but that they do have increased security and police presence as a result of what happened here at neighboring Utah Valley University. So a lot of surrounding institutions and organizations are closely watching what's happened and waiting for more information. Obviously, a lot is still unknown right now, but you heard from these witnesses what they saw, what they heard as they were just behind me here where the event was taking place. The tent where Charlie Kirk was speaking is literally a few yards away from where we're standing right now on the west side of UVU. Back to you.
Yeah, Daniel, that was some really stark testimony and things that they witnessed today. I had another thought as we were seeing the video from Chopper 5 of those bleachers, an event that had been full just moments before and was now, you see, littered with backpacks and with water bottles. And it's a hard contrast to see an event where people are having open discourse to one where they obviously fled in fear and just left everything behind. That was I don't know,
it's very telling, isn't it?
It is. It says a lot just by what's left behind.
And we've been hearing accounts all afternoon long from our news specialists that out there on campus. We want to check back in with Dan Rescon. And Dan, you have been speaking to so many people there that they're just willing to share their insights and what they saw, some describing it as traumatic and something they're never going to forget.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Boyd. These stories that we're hearing out here on campus are just pretty incredible right now. But we're about 2 hours after the shooting here. Things are finally starting to clear up out here. That's UCCU Center there, just over here. So we're on the north side of it, and as you can see, the traffic right now beginning to clear up. It's pretty much opened up right around in this area also. So it's finally starting to kind of get that congestion out of the way here. But we're going to bring in Gordon Ramses. Now, Gordon, you were actually there at the event also. We've been hearing a lot of stories from people that were there at the event. You were kind of behind the event, and as far as like some windows were right there, and then you were seeing. What did you see exactly from your vantage point?
So like you said, I was like in the Hall of Flags building. I was behind a window. When I heard the shots, I didn't see where the shot came from. Of course, when that shot happened, everybody from my building ducked down. I ducked down as well, and like before I ducked down, I got like a little glimpse at Charlie Kirk, and there was blood all over his shoulder and on his left shoulder, and that is pretty devastating to see. I wish I could unsee that, but that was pretty traumatizing and stuff.
We've heard a lot of that.
Yeah.
Your reaction that something would happen like that right here at UVU? I mean, this is obviously a very safe campus. A lot of good students here, a lot of good people. Your reaction?
Yeah, no, like you said, like there's a lot of good people. Awesome experience. For something that to happen is just really devastating, and I can't believe it happened right here.
Kind of describe a little bit of the chaos there is what we heard as far as people kind of running and kind of getting out of the way there. I mean, there's some shock there, but tell us kind of what you saw when people started to kind of get out of the way.
So yeah, when I saw the one, like after the shot, everybody from the courtyard started running away. Everybody from my building started running away. But me, like I was like a little shocked, so like, I couldn't really move. So I was just standing in one spot, ducking my head down. For some reason, I don't know why I didn't run.
and see what was that feeling like when you heard people coming out and screaming.
It's a very surreal, scary moment, not knowing what's going on with everybody around, and it's like, where are they? That's the scariest part, not knowing where they are and wondering if you guys are safe and if, you know, everybody else is safe.
And you happen to be here to give support to Ryder, who was taking a test, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me, what is your family, your friends, you know, is there a flurry of text messages coming in saying, are you okay?
So many text messages, are you okay? What's going on? I heard it on the news. A lot coming in.
What is your feeling, though? I mean, not too common that this happens around these parts.
No, it's very scary, especially it's very shocked. I feel like we're all still in shock. Like, it just hasn't, like, set in all the way because we're all just, like, hearing everything as it's coming in.
And now hearing that Charlie Kirk has passed from this horrific shooting, what are your feelings?
Super sad. I don't even know what to feel at this point because it's all just happened so fast and just very sad, feel bad for his family and everybody else.
Any of your actions or your path forward in your mind, has that kind of changed, or has the trajectory changed being that this happened? I mean, you're in high school. I mean, are you thinking about, okay, what precautionary measures do I need to take if I decide to go to college around here?
Yeah, it really makes you realize that, like, the world is very real. Like, we're not going to be protected much longer as we're in high school. Like, realizing that I need to look at things when I go to college like that and realize there's the world out there.
What are the drills like at Cedar Valley High School for something like this?
I don't know, just locked down in our classrooms. We actually had one a few years back, so just kind of staying put until we get the okay.
So you had one at the school not too long ago, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, and then now this. What is your take on everything? If you could talk to the people who can't be here right now, maybe high school students across the country, what would you tell them?
That's a loaded question. You need to take those precautions and keep yourself out of those harmless situations if possible.
Thank you so much, Kylie. All right, so a very solemn, quiet scene here. People are still in shock. They are just, you know, trying to grapple with what's going on. But I will send it back to you.
Reynosa reporting live for us from the UVU campus, talking to folks there. Again, just getting the news moments ago. President Trump posting on Truth Social that Charlie Kirk, 31-year-old Charlie Kirk, has died.
Yeah, we just are seeing also a post on social media from Governor Cox, who says he just got off the phone with President Trump, working with the FBI and the Utah law enforcement to bring this individual to justice after this tragedy. He and his wife Abby are heartbroken. Tough news. Everyone is reeling from this because it's been such a traumatic event to happen in our state, on our campus, to expose so many young people to something like this, and we all are going to be grieving this together. Let's go to this special report from NBC for a moment and see what they are reporting at that level.
Life. That someone who engaged, exercised his democratic rights, both encouraged and provoked those to share ideas, and violence has apparently taken his life, according to President Trump. Tom?
Yeah, you know, Kelly, we have covered politics, you and I, for a while now, and I don't know if we have seen, as you described it, a season of political violence like this, starting in Butler with the assassination attempt on President Trump that came so very close, just inches away, as we all saw in the photos and the video, and as the president has described, a second assassination attempt on his life. What happened just recently in Minnesota with those lawmakers assassinated literally on their front doorstep. And now you have Charlie Kirk, who was never elected, never held office, a political activist, a young man, now shot in cold blood in front of a very friendly crowd from the eyewitnesses we have spoken to. In a very sick type of irony, Charlie's group was called Turning Point because he thought there was a turning point now in politics with President Trump and where the Republican Party had gone. And Kelly, you wonder if now in his death, there may be a turning point when it comes to politics in this country. I mean, how will political activists, any type of political speech now, happen in America, right? When you have something like this happen in a place where someone thought he was speaking to a friendly crowd.
Well, certainly it was a largely friendly crowd. I mean, Utah, which is certainly conservative, a university-based, the kind of group of followers who would know who Charlie Kirk is right off the bat, a figure who lived on their phones and in their social media, ever present in those ways. We have seen over time, when there are these wrenching moments of political violence, there are waves of what happens. Initially, there is the shock. There is bipartisan or across the spectrum condemnation of political violence. There are inevitably questions about the availability of guns and questions of security. Obviously, our elected senior leaders have intense security around them. But on a campus, a political actor like Charlie Kirk, you would have basic security, local law enforcement, campus police, that kind of thing. You would not have the kind of screening that would prevent weapons. We're also talking about an outdoor event where you could have long-range kind of ability to assess a situation on the part of a gunman or gunwoman, a shooter. And so there are so many questions to be filled out. But I think there will certainly be a moment to again address what is the place of violence. Are our politics so poisonous that people cannot control the impulse to act out? Those are societal issues. Right now, we're still in the early fact gathering. There'll be a period of acknowledging his life, those who will grieve his memory, and then what are the next steps?
Yeah, Kelly, stand by for us. I want to bring in former White House Deputy Press Secretary Hogan Gidley, a friend of Charlie Kirk, who was just texting with him yesterday, and he was on the House floor moments ago during a moment of silence. Hogan, first, I am so sorry for your loss. You knew Charlie. Talk to me about what you remember about him and what this moment means right now. It is so incredibly sad for those people that were close to Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, thanks, Tom, for having me. I remember working in the first Trump administration in the White House, and Charlie would come by, and we would all kind of look and say, "Who is this kid? What does he think he's doing?" He's so ambitious, and he's so talented at this young age, and we all kind of gravitated toward him. We watched what he was doing with the youth across this country, not afraid to go into hostile areas and have a debate over ideas. No violence, altercations other than verbal, because that's what the country is all about, disagreeing. And he built a brand, he built an entity, he built a movement based on the ability to come together and have these sensible, honest conversations with statistics, with data. And just watching him do that, it was just awe-inspiring for someone like me who's been in this movement for such a long time, and to watch him at such a young age be able to capture the hearts and minds of so many across the country really was a blessing to me. I will tell you, we were texting just the other day, as you mentioned. He was supposed to go speak at my alma mater at the end of October at Ole Miss, the University of Mississippi in Oxford, and I told him I saw that he was coming, and he knew I went there. He said, "Oh, you have to come to that. We're going to have a great time." And so I was trying to plan a trip down to Oxford to be with him. And now this happens today, and I'm so sad to think of his wife and his children who were left behind after this tragedy. But I'm also filled with rage to think someone would do something like this simply for disagreeing with somebody politically. We don't know the motivations yet, but obviously they didn't like Charlie. But there's no place for political violence in this country. This shooter is grotesque, is vile, is a disgusting person, and as Kelly said, as you said, we're going to wait and see more information as it comes out. But right now, I think a lot of people are in shock. A lot of people are angry, and a lot of people are sad at what just occurred.
Hogan, you can never get in the mind of somebody who would want to assassinate a political figure, a public figure, right? Likely they have some type of issues. What was it you think about Charlie that would compel someone to do this, in the sense that he, like I said to Kelly, he was not elected. He had never held political office, but he had a huge platform, millions of followers on social media. But he's not a household name. If you're not really into politics, you likely don't know who Charlie Kirk is. And maybe even if you're not into Republican politics, you have never heard of him. We know him because we work in this space. You work with him closely, as you had said. But what do you think it was about Charlie that would have prompted somebody to do something as vile and as violent as this?
Well, there is nothing about Charlie that would, should, or could push somebody to do something like this. That is unacceptable, regardless of your thoughts of his policies or his positions. There is no excuse, there is no reason, there is no rationale for this behavior in any form or fashion. I don't care what Charlie Kirk said, what he did, no excuse for this at all. And what is so frustrating is, as the tensions in this country continue to get ratcheted up, you brought this up at the beginning of the segment, we had a former president, a candidate, dodge a bullet in reality, was shot in the ear, and then another assassination attempt was foiled. And now we have someone like Charlie Kirk as well. You mentioned not elected, true, but someone who just wanted to go on these college campuses. And as they used to be places we could share ideas and debate ideas, it seems like they've become petri dishes or cesspools for silencing and censoring voices that differ with your opinions. And so there is no reason for anyone to want to attack Charlie Kirk. There is no reason that is legitimate by any stretch of the imagination. We don't know this person. We don't know the motivation, as you said. However, this is just flat out evil.
Yeah, flat out evil, and it speaks to sort of how large of a figure Charlie had become, if you will, Hogan, right? He had become someone who, when we just see that video in Utah, thousands of people had shown up.
We've been listening in to NBC News special report on Charlie Kirk, confirmed by President Donald Trump on Truth Social. 31-year-old Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point USA, was shot and killed at the Utah Valley University State Campus earlier today at an event that was fairly a friendly crowd. As you know, if you are familiar with Charlie Kirk, he is on this America Comeback tour where he travels across the nation to different college campuses where there is debates and political discourse. And we have been getting statements from, as you can imagine, from local leaders. We want to share with you what Governor Spencer Cox has written on X. In part, it says, quote, "Working with the FBI and Utah law enforcement, we will bring to justice the individual responsible for this tragedy. We are praying for Charlie's wife, daughter, and son." And we should note UVU has confirmed they do not have a suspect in custody at this time, Deanie.
And here's a statement from President Trump. "The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. Melania and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife, Erica, and family. Charlie, we love you." Those are the latest developments, even as we are still seeing troops and police officers, law enforcement, going into buildings on campus. Let's check back in with Mike Hedrick to see the latest now that this information has been confirmed. Mike?
Yeah, so Deanie, again, I'm right here at the center. Anyone who knows and comes off of University Avenue comes through this area. This huge roundabout here on UVU's campus. This is where you go to park, and you can see all other cars have been cleared out. Look around here. You can just see a lot of flashing lights, police vehicles. I'll tell you, I tried to count, and I've never seen so many emergency crews or vehicles on a scene. There's got to be anywhere from 50 to 75 of these vehicles throughout the parking lot. And then you can multiply that by whatever number as far as the number of police and other emergency personnel who are here on scene. It's incredible, the presence. But it seems quiet on campus. Other than seeing all of this law enforcement here, it is quiet for the most part. They're clearing room by room many of these buildings right now, the classrooms, to make sure everyone is out, everyone is safe, and making sure that there are no other threats. As far as I have heard or talking to anyone else, it doesn't seem like there are any other active threats, but they can't take that for granted. They can't take that risk, and they need to make sure that everything is cleared before they move forward and continue on with the investigation here. Again, I've spoken to a number of people today who are right up close, probably within 15, 20 yards. I got a couple of guys right here who were actually asking questions before that final question was asked, and that's when Charlie got shot. So right now with me is Henry. Henry, I appreciate the time. You also got Ryan over here, right? So, Henry, you asked a question right before the individual did after you. What did he ask, and then what happened?
So basically he just asked questions about transgenderism, and it led into like transgender violence and shooters and stuff like that based off of, you know, what's been happening around the country. And it's just been a problem. But I just thought it was very hard to reconcile for a while there. I think I was just in a state of shock. But the fact that it was like 10 to 20 seconds after I walked away, I turned back and I see Charlie just gushing blood from his neck. And after that, you have a random old kook who has no weapon but confesses to the shooting for some reason. And I'm not okay with that, because that took up a lot of cops that were there at the time that could have been searching for the shooter, because the shooter's at large. We don't know where he's at. They're, like you said, they're clearing room by room. And I think a lot of us are super angry. A lot of us are super angry because it's just a lot.
So you're telling me that the person, that older gentleman who we've seen video on social media, who claims to possibly have shot him, you're saying you don't believe he was the shooter?
He didn't have a gun. He didn't have a weapon on him. He just confessed to it, and they grabbed him, pulled him over. Because I'll tell you this, I was there about an hour and a half before the thing even started, before everyone showed up, and he was going around and talking to any conservatives and stuff, just bashing Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk's this, Charlie Kirk's a racist, Charlie Kirk's blah, 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 blah. And he was just making a scene. And it doesn't surprise me. He didn't, from what I could tell, he didn't have anything on him. If they did, I don't think they would be looking for the shooter, because they would, if it was him, they would have the weapon with him, but it wasn't there. So that's the whole thing.
And you've heard since in the last moments, President Trump sent out as well on social media that he passed away.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I had a friend actually who just sent me a message. There are a bunch of friends who've seen me already on the news and stuff have been messaging me, telling me like, yeah, dude, he didn't make it. And I think me and Ryan and a whole bunch of us are just fed up with it. We don't know. There's stuff that needs to happen. It needs to change. Opinions shouldn't lead to shootings. I'm sorry.
I think most people would probably agree with that.
Yes,
you
sir.
hope so.
Feet away, I was in the thick of the crowd. I was working my way up to the stand to ask Charlie some questions. At that moment that the shot rang out, I look over and I see Charlie Kirk slump over for just a split second, and the crowd just pushes back. There's a huge stampede pushing back. People are jumping into the fountain. People are running towards the building. I stuck around, tried to stay away out of everybody's way, pulled out my phone, started to take some video. I got down there closer to the stand, and there was very little police presence. However, at that time, I believe that was when they had taken Charlie away. That's when they had already taken the alleged suspect away. But as Henry mentioned, with that suspect, we were talking to somebody from Deseret News who said they recognize this individual, and he goes to political events. He goes to a lot of events with news and with media, and he tries to
stir contention.
Yep, he tries to gain attention, tries to take credit for what's going on, and here he is jumping up right after the shot saying he did it. So that's really concerning to know, and I mean, hence the police presence that we see here today. It looks like they have not apprehended the actual shooter.
Did you see the shot fired?
I didn't. It did sound like it came from the right side of me, and I tried to look, but I was getting pushed back by the crowd. I was talking to a professor who works here, and he said with the view that anybody could have had of Charlie, it could have been from 200 yards away. So I think that's why we're seeing drones in the air. That's why we've got helicopters in the air. We have a SWAT response. We're seeing snipers. So I think they're still trying to figure out really where the shot came from.
Last thing I'll ask you, you described the chaos. What were you feeling and thinking in the middle of that chaos immediately after shots were fired?
I was thinking there is no way that this can be real. Being here in Utah, where it's relatively safe, at UVU campus, where there's a lot of like-minded individuals, you always hear people say you never think it's going to happen to you. I have a different mindset. I think of always being prepared, and it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And I hope that everybody who's seeing this event unfold, I hope that this is their call to action, to speak up, to stand out, to make change, because this is unacceptable. We can't live like this.
And I'll ask you, we've heard this a lot from people about there needs to be a change, from people who were there on campus. We hear this from politicians as well. What is that change? What's going to change somebody from doing something like this?
Like I said, we were speaking to a teacher earlier, and he was talking about how practically the entire university, the chair, the president, the chair, no one was informed. No one was informed that that there was not going to be enough security or anything. Some people were in class not even knowing Charlie was coming. I don't think that's okay, especially after what happened in Butler in Pennsylvania with President Trump and all this stuff. We know that this violence exists, and we all know that Utah's had a lot of progressives come into the state, and with the same old rhetoric that leads to instances like this. And I think it's the rhetoric of people saying like, oh, well, we saw people that were smiling when it happened. We saw people that were like, oh, good shot. All from, this certain group of people.
That's not right. That's not right. Both of you, thank you very much. I appreciate you taking the time. I'm glad you're safe. I appreciate you sharing your stories and your eyewitness accounts. So thank you.
Yes,
Best of luck to you. So, Deanie, as we kind of wrap up that conversation, it's very similar to a lot of other people we spoke with. It's really a surreal situation that happened here. Conservative town USA, that's really what this is. And so a lot of people would not think that something like this would happen. And again, we're still trying to figure it out. Police are still trying to figure out. You still wouldn't have this presence out here if they weren't still trying to figure out exactly what happened. So we hope to get some of those answers at some point today, but I think it may take a while. Back to you.
Yeah, it's disturbing to even hear that kind of testimony and those kind of interviews from students, from young people who had to witness that kind of stuff.
Again, if you are just joining us, President Trump confirmed on a post on Truth Social, Charlie Kirk, 31-year-old Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point USA, has died after being shot at an event held at Utah Valley University just a couple of hours ago. And I just wanted to read a little portion of that post from President Trump, where he says, quote, "No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially me, and now he is no longer with us." And President Trump also added, "Melania and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife, Erica, and family." And also we are getting a statement from Senator Mike Lee from Utah, who had posted, "Charlie Kirk was an American patriot, an inspiration to countless young people to stand up and defend the timeless truths that make our country great. This murder was a cowardly act of violence, an attack on champions of freedom like Charlie and the students who gathered."
So as police on campus continue escorting people out of buildings and off campus, they continue to tell people to shelter in place until they can be escorted off, and presumably they continue to look for the suspect. We're just trying to bring you updated information as we can see it coming out. One of the latest bits that we've seen is an update from the University of Utah. They are open, but they did issue a safety alert encouraging people to be extra precautious, but then to also recognize that they have extra security on campus for the events all this week. Let's go to Andrew, who is also on campus. Andrew, you've been talking to people all day. What have you got at your location?
Well, actually, I just wanted to give you a quick scene setter of what we're looking at, because as this situation is getting sorted out and they're going room to room, we're seeing some swift movement over here just south of the Fugal Gateway building, which is directly south of where the shooting took place. And so you see that this Jeep that is speeding off here, it looked like a few guys dressed in fatigues getting into that vehicle and heading off quickly. Just before that, we saw like I would call it a Bearcat-like truck. I don't know if that's the actual description. It also took off in a hurry. Just prior to that, we saw people in SWAT gear as we're just looking at that vehicle exiting. We did see some swift movements. We saw some police running south, but at the same time, we saw some people rushing into the Gateway building. Again, they're in the process of clearing campus, so walking and going place to place, that can be expected, but we just saw law enforcement rushing to a different location unknown to us, and so that makes you wonder exactly what is going on with those people right now. But just wanted to give you an idea of the situation, that it is continuing to evolve here with the police response. And again, just resetting, if you're just tuning into us, we saw several SWAT people get in vehicles and book it that way, and then up out toward the south end of campus. So we don't know exactly where they are going. Just prior to that, though, and this I just want to point you this way, as you see, well, between the trees, you might be able to see the legs of a SWAT officer rushing in toward this building. We've seen a lot of attention on the Fugal Gateway building, which is what this is, again, directly south of the shooting area. And so presumably going in to clear it, but we don't know if there is anything more pressing than that in this building. But again, in a larger scale process of clearing the entire campus, can't imagine how a grueling of a process that is, understanding how many rooms jobs there are on a college campus where as many as 50,000 students go to school. It's just wild. But that's what we've just been seeing in the last few minutes. We'll toss it back to the studio, try and see if we can get some more information at some point.
All right, Andrew Adams reporting live from UVU campus for us with that update. Thank you.
We appreciate just the updated information and seeing that this is still, UVU has reported this is still an unfolding situation. We're seeing that. Police dogs still on campus, officers still speeding to different places. We don't know what the latest developments are, but we will keep you posted, and that's why we keep checking in with our various reporters who are in different spots on campus. Let's check in with Dan Rascone. Dan, any movement on your end of campus?
Yeah, that's exactly what we're seeing out here on our end also. We're along University Avenue here and also I-15. You can see officers just behind me here. I'm not sure exactly what's happening here, but they're trying to get out of the way as far as getting over the curb here and flipping themselves around so they can race off to another area. So I'm not exactly sure where these officers are going, but they seem to be heading down towards I-15. That's basically the northbound lanes there of I-15. We see another one racing off right there. So something must be going on where we could obviously see officers jumping in the vehicles right here. And as you see, here we go. Another car that's going to be heading kind of the entrance here. This is the entrance to northbound I-15 along basically right next to the UVU. So I don't know if maybe there's somebody that's been found or the possible shooter that's been located or what happens there. But again, we're seeing a lot of activity, a lot of SWAT members also running across campus to a variety of different areas. But you can just give you a little bit of a picture here. If you were to come off of I-15 here and University, you could see, and then you start heading basically towards UVU, just all this police force right here in this area. And then as we kind of flip around here, it's just completely congested here. And then we go all the way to where that roundabout is, kind of where Mike Hedrick is. And that's where you see all of the congestion there with all of the police officers and all of the agencies from a variety of different places. But again, as everybody's been kind of mentioning here, suddenly we're starting to see a lot of activity as far as officers racing off to different locations. What's interesting, though, is that we saw some officers going this way. Now we see these officers coming our way here. So again, we're not really exactly sure what's happening, but apparently there's still a lot of activity as far as officers try to get to a variety of different locations right now. But the stories have just been horrendous to be able to hear some of these students describe exactly what they saw out there. We've been hearing all day long here, one story after another, about the trauma that they experienced as they saw Charlie get shot there. Many of them describing in detail kind of what happened, where the bullet hit, the blood that they saw. So many of these students are saying it's going to be difficult to get back to campus here. And that's going to be one of the big questions here, is trying to get back to campus and trying to get back to reality again as far as getting back to their studies. This is an experience that many of these students told us time and time again that they will never forget, that this is something that they'll never forget in a lifetime. And so very sad, very tragic what happened here, very upsetting. But again, a lot of police activity kind of happening here and there behind us. Another vehicle here, another city police officer from Orem trying to get out to get to another location. So again, we're just seeing this kind of spread out as far as officers trying to get to different locations. If we can find anything out as to what's happening out here, we'll, of course, bring you the latest. Deanie, back to you.
Yeah, great job out there, Dan, and we just appreciate the perspective as we unfold and learn more details. And to that end, we just got a statement from Utah Valley University, still offering a phone number to students or anyone who might still be on campus if they need a police escort out. So as recently as within the last few minutes, they're encouraging people to call a number so they can get escorted out of a building or off campus. And that is an active situation for people who are still on the campus.
And Deanie, we are continuing to get reaction basically from the death of Charlie Kirk. I'm just receiving one here from State Senator Mike McKell here from Utah, who posted on X, Charlie Kirk was a father
Yeah, no, you're good, Okay. Sounds good, thank you, bye. Okay. Okay, try talking for me really quick. Yeah, check 3, 1, 2. Check, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Check, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Charlie Kirk, Charlie Kirk. Okay. Cool. Wait. Walk for me. Yeah, check, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Check, 1, 2, 3. Okay, you're sounding good. You're just cutting out for a second, so I was double checking. Okay. Yeah, we should be good. Okay, I just want to make sure for that we're as safe as possible, because for sure. I 100%. Okay. Is in the presser right now. Okay. Hey, Matt. Yeah, that's fine. And again, is it the same kind of thing, a Q&A? Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you. Okay, bye. Okay. And okay. So that be in a what 15 minutes or so we're going to be with Hallie Jackson. Yeah. And then we'll be with Tom Yamas on Nightly 45 minutes after that. Okay. So just had to double check. Yeah. And at this stage, we'll see what happens from this media conference as well. But yeah, well, I'm really hoping the news is we caught him. Yeah. Otherwise. Yeah, because there's been no confirmation, even though one person's been arrested. There's been no confirmation here that the shooter, or taken into custody. For you. So I can send 202-4862, is that the one? 656-202-4862. Yeah, new hit time 3:43. Okay. Okay. Simon does. Yeah, I think so. Hey, Matt, how are you? Good, good, good. I'm right at the entrance of Utah Valley. There's a roundabout here. It's where everyone comes and goes when they're coming onto campus here. So it's the primary place to enter the university, and it's pretty packed with, there's probably 50 to 75 law enforcement vehicles here right now. Good, how are you doing? No, understood. I think the key thing right now, I think originally when things were playing out, there was one person that people who were in the midst of all this, an older gentleman who was taken away into police custody. And the original thought was he was the one who shot at Charlie.
they don't know that that's the case right now. There's been a couple of instances here in the last 10, 15 minutes where you've had law enforcement just jump in their cars and race off. And we don't know why. I mean, it could be any reason, but the fact remains as they go in and out of all these buildings and clearing out the entire campus, they don't know where the shooter is, or they haven't let us know where the shooter, if they know who it is. Yeah, correct. Yeah, totally fair. Yep. So you're just go ahead. Maybe not. I can give it to you though. It's M as in Mike, Hedrick, spelled H-E-A-D, like your head, R-I-C-K, at ksl.com. Okay, sounds good. You're talking 45 seconds, just a scene. This is what we're seeing right now, and then send it back to Tom. Okay, sounds good. Yep, thank you. Bye. Oh, is he out?
Yeah, he's over in LA.
Oh, gee.
That's already happened multiple times. Yes. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm here. No, I had to make a couple of calls and now I'm back, but apparently I'm going on in like 10 minutes with NBC. Yeah, I think, well, because after that I've got a hit with nightly news at 4:30. So I think I'd rather just kind of be ready for the 4:45. Okay, because I don't have anything new from when I last spoke to you, just because I've been on the phone with NBC. Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
It might be a little stuffy right now.
Yeah. So let's just go up here. Okay. So let's just go ahead now. Just keep your tripods, you don't lose your stuff.
We do have some gap taking. How does this look at me?
Let's go right here. Hold on just a second. Come let me in, John.
Yeah, he's bringing audio stuff for us, I think.
Over here. Are you? Yeah, I hear you loud and clear. Loud and clear. His tripod's right there with that empty one. So we're just going to do a live hit real quick.
I'll hook up and be ready to go, and then we'll just plug.
That sounds good. So are you going to be our steady camera? Okay. Yes. Yes.
Once the presser starts, I'm gonna run and grab batteries for this.
Okay.
So I don't think I'll.
Okay.
Make it.
Do you want to?
Or I might just have.
Do you want to try? 20 minutes.
I'll go as soon as we're done with your live. I'll
Just book it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll
Just put your
book it
camera up there, and or is he using your tripod? Looks like he's using your tripod. Okay. So as long as we have John here, we should be fine. Who's going to take charge of the press conference?
So I have it right now. It's kind of jointly between my and
Okay. All right. Okay. And you expect it at 4 o'clock? No, okay. Yeah, exactly. Right. Oh, you go ahead. Go ahead. You're fine. We're not on yet.
I wasn't even looking up. Sorry.
John, are you gonna plug your audio into? Is everybody putting their?
I'll just need your live when we get live.
Okay, that's it. Okay.
How you doing battery wise?
Okay, here we come.
How you doing?
Just want to make sure you okay.
All right, Tamara. Well, we're inside one of the auditoriums here on campus where a press conference is scheduled to take place in just a little bit. We're saying it's good. We're being told right now it's supposed to be about 4 o'clock. You can see the media obviously setting up, getting ready for this press conference. But a lot of what we've been talking about here, as far as trying to get some answers, has this suspect actually been caught? You know, what's the latest on this investigation? What went wrong here? Those kind of answers we're hoping to be able to get here shortly. It's going to be pretty much a who's who here in Utah, all the leaders. We're going to have the governor here is what I'm being told. We're going to have the FBI here. We're going to have the Department of Public Safety top brass here also. So there's going to be a lot of different people that are going to be here, the main players as far as knowing what's going on in this investigation. As we've been hearing all along, this is just devastating as to what happened here at UVU. Obviously, this is a campus that has been safe for the most part as far as any kind of activity like this or a shooting like this or anything that where they have political people come here all the time. And so this is not unusual to be able to have different events, different things taking place on this campus, and then to have something like this, everybody is just in shock here. So again, we're hoping to be able to have this press conference here at 4 o'clock inside of this auditorium here, and hopefully be able to get some of those answers. But I'm being told from the FBI and also from the governor's office and also from the Department of Public Safety, all of those people are expected to be here. It's just a matter of trying to get some of those individuals here. You saw some of the traffic outside. You saw where Mike Hedrick is at and Alex Cabrera and some of the others there with all those police activities outside the campus there. It's a full house when it comes to police agencies and the number of officers here, the number of SWAT. We've been seeing, we showed you just a short time ago, we saw some of these SWAT members running, going in a different direction, racing down the street. We see them carrying all their gear as far as, their rifles and everything else like that. And so, there's a little bit of that. So we're hoping to be able to get some of those answers maybe as to what happened there or why were officers rushing to get to a certain location or why were they off to that or that location. But again, these officers combing the entire campus, we've been seeing that all along. We've been seeing officers and SWAT team members going basically from building to building, going inside, clearing them. Even for us to be able to get into this building, we had to go through security to be able to be here. And so they're very tight right now. All the doors are locked here on campus. Everybody, it's pretty much shut down for the most part. But again, a press conference expected to take place here in the next 20 minutes or so just behind me. And we'll, of course, bring that live to you as soon as we have that. And we're hoping to be able to find some of these answers. The scary thing out there, of course, on everybody's mind, if the shooter has still not been caught, where is he? Is he still on campus here, or is he off somewhere else? Did he take off, flee the scene? Could it be another location? And so there's still a lot of weariness here and a lot of people just on edge in regards to, what happened and then also what could happen if the shooter is still here on campus. We'll send it back to you guys, but again, we'll come live out here as soon as this press conference happens. Okay, you've got 15 minutes basically. I don't know if you want to, if you want to just sit right here and I'll just, and there's, and then do you want to give that to John?
Someone's lanyard here? Okay, I'm gonna undo it.
American flag, right? Think of like where they're supposed to go. Is American flag supposed to be on the right and the left?
Let me check.
Right?
Should we look at a PSA?
Yeah, let's look at PSA. That's what we just have to do.
Do you know how these things work? Oh, I guess they just clip in. Yeah, they clip in.
We know that the governor's going to speak. We understand that a spokesperson for the State Department of Public Safety is going to speak. You're just looking in the room here. This is an auditorium in a UVU building. I've also seen a representative of the Attorney General's office. We expect that we're going to hear a great deal about how tragic this is, how much sorrow the state has for this. But we also, certainly, everybody here has questions about who.
Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3.
From where do the shots come
Test
from?
1 2 3.
A number of
Test.
questions that really
It's not on.
haven't been answered so far today, and there has been a sense of sort of
It's
zigzag quality. I'm not blaming
Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3.
zigzag quality of this. Yes, we have a person in custody. No.
Nothing. Is this?
Oh, sorry. Yes, I know. I just wanted to make sure, just in case I wasn't. Yes, I am on channel 2.
If mounted on a staff, it is on the speaker's right.
So if we can clear up some of
Speakers.
those issues, if we
Speaker's right. Yeah.
ask a few more questions about Governor, what is being done from the states.
This lanyard is going beneath for whoever's this is.
Have been committed to this.
Okay, we're going to bring them
Does the state
at least a
need
foot
to have?
this way.
How soon can we get those?
Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3.
What particular efforts are being
Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3.
We can match kind of the diagonal of the state flag
surrounding
a
circumstances
little bit,
about that
centered on the
individual?
same plane.
We heard
And then I might have you guys move them in just a little bit so that they
Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3.
That side looks fine. I think it's mostly this side.
how are we going to be getting those answers?
Test 1 2 3.
Closer in.
The
Yeah, closer in, please.
ATF.
Nothing. Which one's ours?
Investigation.
And then I'll have to move his in.
Those are more diagonal
Move it in a little bit further.
Test 1 2 3.
DPS perhaps
Closer to the other
more
one.
specifically. So this news conference
Backwards a little.
is set to begin
What
in about
what box are we? Oh, sorry. Test 1 2.
at UVU
Just a little bit more this way.
live from Mount Bryan.
And like a centimeter backwards.
Is it plugged into a moat box or something? Or, but we're trying to get it up there.
I think that's okay.
Okay. I say with this close. Test 1 2 3. Wait till he gets up there.
I think maybe move it this way. Just a tiny bit.
Test 1 2 3. Mic check. One. Nothing. Dang. Okay. Should we base it on our camera?
Back to a couple things, Mark. You will probably remember these. I'm sure you'll remember these events. The Rocky Anderson former mayor of Salt Lake City, Sean Hannigan, at the University.
Steve, is your Steve?
That was a spirited
Steve, is your mic working?
hour-and-a-half long, roughly, discussion.
Nothing.
And it was as cordial and civil as you could be. Exactly right. It was civil. People didn't necessarily agree with what they were hearing on either side of that debate. There were some people who were very supportive of Sean Hannity, some people very supportive of Rocky Anderson, but it was very civil. And the idea that you would have violence at that was unthinkable. Ben Shapiro.
Test 1 2 3. Are we good? No? Would you like me to stand? I can stand here. I'm good.
Some say he's a polarizing figure. I don't think anybody doubts his intellect. He's a very bright guy. But there were protests at the
Okay, I would say with this close, we should just make sure we're good. So, like, should we just put a receiver on your camera?
civil presentation.
You got, so the test, yours works fine. It's everybody else.
Yeah, well, everyone's got their own here, so if we can, I can just throw them off like on the I've got my backup.
Yeah, I got a backup too. I suggest doing that one.
That's
if we
how
can.
we're going to have to, because at this rate, there's no way they're going to get it.
5 minutes. Okay. Do we need a stand-in for anyone?
We need some real answers.
We good?
Not prescribing
Cool.
what those answers are, but we can't just go on like this. This has got to stop. And I think in those
All right.
circumstances, the two that we're better than this. We're a lot better than this.
Testing 1 2
We've been
3.
a long time. We know what the
Not we got on that though. Or
and they're good. And to have this kind of
you're
thing
good.
happen is
Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. Okay.
It's
All right.
almost dishonoring the life of Charlie Kirk. We don't want to do that. But it certainly is
Not a fan of
He did
this.
tell us that he wasn't sure
What the
if it was
heck?
routed properly.
That's okay. I'm going to slightly move this cord.
That would lead to this, and maybe those are unfair questions, but I think those are the questions that we're going to ask.
You want to try plugging this one into the box up there? Yeah, sure. Try that. See if we have a way to get this. I don't know. Yeah, because then at least we have a mole box, and if that's, yeah. Not as of yet, still approximately 4 p.m. I don't know.
Yeah, let me know what you think.
Julia, are we still ETA 4 p.m.?
Actually, now that I look at the time,
Nate, slide for a minute.
maybe 5 to 10 minutes backwards.
I had a feeling.
How are the flags? Do the flags look okay?
You guys did a good job.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Test 1, 2.
Did you say that you worked for KSL?
Yeah.
News Radio?
Yeah.
I did too.
Did you?
Yeah.
What's your name?
I'm Sage Miller.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. What's your name again?
Heather Peterson.
Heather. Nice to meet you. There's no mole box.
Oh, okay, so they're just leaving
Yeah,
this.
we're just, yeah.
Alright. Right here. How long ago did you work at KSL?
It was my first journalism job.
Oh, yeah?
I was like in 2019, from like 2018 to like 2020.
Wow.
And then I went to the Trib and then KUER, and now I work for NPR.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
I've only been there about a year and a half, so don't.
Probably not that fun.
Yeah. I think I met you at the RFK.
Oh, yeah.
Now that
Yeah, actually, you probably absolutely did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. This one has battery. They're not going to start at 55. Nobody's here.
No.
And I don't want to start rolling.
Extra battery.
I'm just scared to roll and then like walk away and then go die.
That lady who looks like an official, university official, said that they'd be a couple minutes late.
So I'm going to let it be.
Sounds good. Powering up on the microphone. Yeah, it sounds
Just enough to get this on like the side of the microphone.
Oh, actually, hold on. Let me just see if I can get it right here.
Check, 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 check,
Check,
check,
check,
check,
check,
check, check,
check.
check,
Oh, now I'm hearing
check,
that.
check, check.
I hadn't moved here yet, but I was getting ready to. I was in Georgia, yeah.
Okay. Oh, so there's a single mic here that's actually into the floor here. So is one of these. Yeah. That's going through there. Okay, so this is one that's going to the floor?
Yeah.
Okay. So technically that one should be showing up at the back, I think.
Yeah, that's just the room audio, so I don't know if it.
Yeah, that's well, we're plugging in the whole box back there. Okay.
Check, check, check.
Okay. So they're not hearing that. We are hearing it in the room, but
Thanks, man.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, mic to test.
Well, we are waiting this news conference that is expected to begin very shortly. You can see, of course, flags.
Right now, we're still waiting for the governor to arrive here, and other key players are going to be coming up to the pulpit right here to be able to have a press conference. But we're inside an auditorium right now on campus, and boy, there's a lot of unanswered questions still out there, especially if the shooter is still out there. We did see a picture that somebody sent me of some SWAT team members out in an Orem neighborhood there. I don't know if you remember or not, but a little bit earlier we showed you some of those officers racing away as if to go to somewhere close by campus here. I don't know exactly what they were going to look for or anything like that, but somebody did send me a picture of some SWAT team members in a neighborhood there canvassing an area. So we're not exactly sure what they're looking at. But again, this press conference is expected to start at 4 o'clock right here, and we're expecting the governor to be here, we're expecting the FBI to be here, and also the Department of Public Safety. Again, this is the podium right here. We see it all set up. We're wanting to be able to talk to them. This is just a real tragedy. I mean, this is not only a local story or even a national story. This is going to be an international story here as to what happened here at UVU today. I did talk to a public affairs individual here on UVU campus. He said that Charlie had about 8 security personnel there with him at that event. They also had several other security personnel from UVU that was also at that event. And so we're still trying to get details exactly what happened there. But they say, he told me that there was about 1,500 people gathered together at that event and when this all went down. And so again, we're still trying to find out from the Department of Public Safety and also the FBI as to what they're going to be looking at. So we're hoping that this press conference will get underway. But again, we have not seen the governor pull up. We have not seen the FBI pull up, the lead players in that area. Here on campus is completely locked down right now. We had to kind of go through security in order to get into this building here just because they have everything locked down. The doors were locked and in order to be able to get in here. So they're sweeping all the buildings. So it's very clear that maybe they still have not found the shooter or that they're still making sure that he may not be hiding here on campus. I also saw some video of someone that sent me some video of possibly someone up on a roof. Now, again, we're not able to confirm any of that. We're not able to say what exactly that was. But again, somebody shot some videos, some cell phone video of somebody up on a roof. And I don't know if that had anything to do with this or not. It appears as though everyone we talked to that was so close to this I couldn't interview anybody or find anybody that actually saw the gunman. And so there's a lot of questions there as to where he may have been, he or she may have been when those shots were fired. But everybody telling me they heard one shot, and then that's when Charlie went down. And so again, still trying to find out a lot of questions here that we're still trying to get to the bottom of, but we'll keep you posted as soon as we know any more and as soon as the governor walks in and we're getting closer to starting this press conference. Back to you guys in the studio. Okay. Yes, I'll try and find that out, and if I find anything, I'll let you know. So, okay, thanks. Okay.
telling us a time code, or is he? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're thinking that people in media were not.
Let me listen.
He is a lieutenant with the Ivy Patrol. Yeah.
Anybody else besides?
Sorry, we're gonna sneak here right in front of you.
Okay, got it. Okay. But the microphone is in a weird place to actually hear it. So, okay, but I think we're good. He'll have to change the level there.
Unless you want to use yours. I thought you might need yours more than that.
You're not starting on these. No, we're just getting our slide to them. Okay. Just so I'm clear.
Shoot, I don't even know how to. I mean, we can just. Even that's probably good. Yeah. Holy cow.
Are you good? Okay, the audio level. Good. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Test. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. We still have a little bit. Nothing quite yet. So just getting our live stream set up.
Look at me standing here. I like the seal showing, but you tell me if the angle, what you think of the angle.
Okay.
I like the seal. Test, 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 test.
Do they want any water? Do you want?
Yeah, might as well bring a few in. Yeah.
Just put it back.
Yes, and I'll let them know. Perfect. So, as I mentioned, we are going to go actively live. Lieutenant Roden, we're going to start our live, and he's going to give an update every 5 minutes until the actual press conference starts. Also, if you guys need a water, our UVU hosts are kind, and they have brought some because I know it's hot and we're all in one room together. Any questions? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mic check. Touching the mic check. Mic. There's audio.
If anybody's having trouble with audio, there's a mult box up top now that is working. So. Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, check.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, mic test. Dan Rascon reporting live. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, mic check test.
Do you have any update about timing yet?
Okay.
They're doing they said that Rodin will be speaking apparently like 8 minutes, but they're lecturing at the end right now.
Still don't have time.
So it'll be
Just hold it quiet. I get nervous and I'm like, don't want to turn it on.
I'm sure that does that thing just like consumes it.
I think she just doesn't want to time too.
Yeah, yeah. They want a bobblehead. Okay.
Yeah. Not starting. They are wrapping up their command briefing now. We should have about 2 minutes before they finish that, and then it'll be about a 5-minute walk over here. So about 7 minutes out, maybe slightly more. We should be beginning our briefing on the UVU incident here shortly. That should begin in about 5 to 10 minutes. We're just waiting for individuals involved in this to work their way over to our briefing location.
Sorry, say that again, Tasia. Test one, they might test. Okay. Are you coming to me next? Okay. Can you see me okay, John, or do we need to move over? Like this? Oh, I'm good, right? Oh.
She has the best eyes for this. Amy, look good? Get that a good snack.
Yeah, I feel like I was
Yeah.
Great.
That's your shot, really? I'll start it.
Yeah, that's correct. We're inside an auditorium here on campus right now where a press conference is expected to take place any minute now. We've just got basically about a 7-minute warning that the press conference will be starting here shortly. This is where it'll be happening up here. All the major players, of course, will be here for this press conference. We're expecting the governor to be showing up, along with also the FBI and the Department of Public Safety. So again, this is a case that's going to go international, of course. A lot of people wanting a lot of answers as to what went wrong here, what happened, and just a lot of fear, of course, on campus from students as far as what they saw, the trauma they experienced, and then also coming back to school, you know, what this is going to be like. And so, again, I think the main questions we want to be able to try and answer right now is, do they have any idea where this shooter may be at this time? Or if they have any indication as to if he's still on campus or not, or what they're finding and those kind of things. Also, as far as the security goes, I did talk to somebody from the UVU Public Affairs Department. They told me that Charlie had about 8 security officers or so, personal security officers with him, and then they also had UVU security officers there. And so what exactly, you know, obviously from the video that we see of what happened there, they weren't standing necessarily right next to him there, but he was open enough to where somebody could shoot and fire those gunshots. Now, where that gunfire came from is the other big question. Everyone we've been talking to here, nobody seems to have seen an actual gunman or somebody that actually fired that gun and where that shot came from. All they say is that they heard that gunshot go off and then they saw Charlie drop. So again, we're getting video, as you guys have been mentioning there at the station and other things. We're starting to see video merge in of people showing somebody possibly up on the roof or somebody in another location. And so, again, that's all speculation right now, but those are videos that police are going to be looking at. We're hoping to be able to get some answers to from FBI. And again, we're hoping probably within the next 5 minutes or so that this press conference will be starting. We do start to see some people starting to file in here, and so we might be getting something here pretty soon as to when this may start. But we'll go ahead and get it back to you guys, and of course, as soon as this takes place, we'll take it live here, and hopefully we can be able to get some of these answers. Back to you guys. Yeah.
Oh, you said just now, like that.
Okay, if we can have you get ready for the press conference, we're going to be starting.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. At this press conference, we will first hear from Utah Department of Public Safety Commissioner Bo Mason. Then we'll hear from the FBI Special Agent in Charge, Robert Bowles. We'll then hear from Utah Valley University Vice President Val Peterson, who's been in touch with President Jimenez. And then we'll hear from Governor Cox. I'll turn the time over to Commissioner Mason.
Hello, everyone. I'm Bo Mason, Commissioner for the
with the UVU Police Department. We're grateful for your leadership and your team. And again, to the speakers that you've just heard from who are co-leading this investigation. I also want to recognize Sheriff Mike Smith, who has been an invaluable partner as this investigation moves forward. I've been in touch with President Trump, with FBI Director Kash Patel. We are completely aligned with our state and federal partners as we work through this case. Now, this is a dark day for our state. It's a tragic day for our nation. And I want to be very clear that this is a political assassination. We are celebrating 250 years of the founding of this great nation. That founding document, the Declaration of Independence, that this great experiment on which we embarked together 250 years ago, that we are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights. The first one of those is life. And today, a life was taken. Charlie Kirk was first and foremost a husband and a dad to 2 young children. He was also very much politically involved, and that's why he was here on campus. Charlie believed in the power of free speech and debate to shape ideas and to persuade people. Historically, our university campuses in this nation and here in the state of Utah have been the place where truth and ideas are formulated and debated. And that's what he does. He comes on college campuses and he debates. That is foundational to the formation of our country, to our most basic constitutional rights. And when someone takes the life of a person because of their ideas or their ideals, then that very constitutional foundation is threatened. Now, we have a person of interest in custody. The investigation is ongoing. But I want to make it crystal clear right now, to whoever did this, we will find you. We will try you. And we will hold you accountable to the furthest extent of the law. And I just want to remind people that we still have the death penalty here in the state of Utah. Our nation is broken. We've had political assassinations recently in Minnesota. We had an attempted assassination on the governor of Pennsylvania. And we had an attempted assassination on a presidential candidate and former president of the United States, and now current president of the United States. Nothing I say can unite us as a country. Nothing I can say right now can fix what is broken. Nothing I can say can bring back Charlie Kirk. Our hearts are broken. We mourn with his wife, his children, his family, his friends. We mourn as a nation. If anyone in the sound of my voice celebrated even a little bit at the news of this shooting, I would beg you to look in the mirror and to see if you can find a better angel in there somewhere. I don't care what his politics are. I care that he was an American. We desperately need our country. We desperately need leaders in our country. But more than the leaders, we just need every single person in this country to think about where we are and where we want to be. to ask ourselves, is this it? Is this what 250 years has wrought on us? I pray that that's not the case. I pray that those who hated what Charlie Kirk stood for will put down their social media and their pens and pray family, and that all of us will try to find a way to stop hating our fellow Americans. With that, we're happy to take a few questions.
The FBI director is posting that a suspect is in custody. I would just like clarification. Do you or do you not have a suspected shooter in custody?
We have a person of interest in custody that is being interviewed right now.
That is not George Zinn.
That is not George Zinn. That is correct.
Are you still searching or looking for another shooter or anybody else related to this?
Yes, we are actively looking for anyone and everyone who has any possible information relating to this shooting.
Can you tell us details about the suspect being taken into custody? Where? How long ago?
We cannot at this point, but we will get you that information when we can.
Is there believed to be a second individual involved in the shooting?
At this point, there is no information that would lead us to believe that there is a second person involved.
Can you guys talk about the possible shooting?
Do you want to talk about what we know there? Yeah.
The only information we have on the suspect, the possible shooter, is taken from closed circuit TV here on campus. We do have that. We're analyzing it, but it is security camera footage, so you can kind of guess what the quality of that is. But we do know dressed in all dark clothing, but we don't have a much better description other than that.
Where do you believe the shot came from?
The shot came from here on campus, from a location at a third, potentially from a roof, yes. A longer distance shot from a roof.
So to clarify, with the security camera footage you have and the person of interest that's in custody, does that match up?
That's what we're trying to decipher right now.
So did FBI or DHS have anything on the threat board this morning?
I can't speak to that.
I'll just say that the investigation's ongoing, and as soon as we have further information, we will be sure to release it.
Any indications of foreign intelligence involvement?
As of now, I can't comment on any of that.
Thank you. Can you talk a little bit about the security of the event itself? Who was there security-wise, and what happens on these kind of events?
Chief Long.
So my name is Jeff Long. I'm the police chief here at UVU, and I'll tell you right now, we are devastated. We're a small police department. We have a very large campus. We have over 40,000 students, and we love our students. We love our visitors, and we're devastated by what happened today. This is the police chief's nightmare. I'm very saddened for the Kirk family. I know his wife and parents found out about this. Obviously he's away from home. He's here in Utah. They find out by a police officer that visits their home. That's tragic. Nobody wants that. But I can tell you about our venue today. This was an open venue. This is outside. We did have 6 officers working that event. We had probably over 3,000 people that were in attendance. It sat down in kind of a bowl area here on the central campus. We have a waterfall area, and so he was kind of in a lower area, surrounded by buildings. We had some plainclothes police officers that were in the crowd as well. We train for these things, and you think you have things covered, and these things, unfortunately, they happen. You try to get your bases covered, and unfortunately today we didn't. And because of that, we had this tragic incident. So we did have officers there. We had Charlie Kirk's team. He has a security team that travels with him, and they were here with him when he was shot.
Was the gun recovered?
I'm sorry, see?
Was the weapon recovered?
At this point, I can't disclose that.
When Charlie Kirk was shot, there was a question being asked about mass shooting. Was that person apprehended, and do you know who asked that question?
Say the question again. I don't know if I understand what you're saying.
When Charlie Kirk was shot, he was answering a question about mass shootings specifically. Was that person apprehended, and do you know who asked that question?
I do not. We do not have that at this moment.
What kind of weapon was used? Ladies and gentlemen, we have time for just one more question, so thank you.
Yeah,
So we work together. You know, he has his team, and they do this all over the country. We all know that. This is not uncommon for them. They're very comfortable on campuses, and I was coordinating with his lead security guy, and so yeah, we were working together.
Was this a sharpshooter type shot?
Ladies and gentlemen, those are all the questions that will be answered today. Again, thank you for covering this. We will be updating you as soon as we have additional information through normal channels, working with law enforcement. Again, our deepest condolences to the Kirk family and to the students who were there today. I would just ask everyone everywhere to please pray for their family and to pray for our country. We need it now more than ever. Thank you.
To our media partners, we will be sending a release out with updates through one channel of information, whether it's DPS or FBI. So please make sure that you fill out the Google form with updates specific to this incident. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, some very strong words coming from Governor Cox here in regards to what happened here. Obviously a real tragedy. He is calling this, as you mentioned, a political assassination. Somebody that came after Charlie Kirk and wanted to take him out. And so we believe right now, from what's been happening as far as what they were able to tell us, they do have a person of interest in custody. They also have another person that they're looking at, but they're not saying whether or not the two are related in the incident. So again, one person in custody here. Is that the actual shooter? We don't know, but they did say he is a person of interest. And as far as them looking for others, they say they are still canvassing the area. They're still canvassing the campus to try and see if anybody else has any other information. Now, we had mentioned a little bit earlier that we're starting to see cell phone video coming in of possibly somebody up on the roof there. Well, they did say, at least Department of Public Safety said that they do believe that the shots came from the roof. So again, was this a rifle, a sharpshooter? To be able to shoot from up there would be a very difficult shot unless you really knew what you were doing. And it hit him right in the neck and right in the fatal part of the body there. And so, you know, it's one of those situations where they're still continuing the investigation. But according to UVU's police chief, he said he had as many as 6 or more officers here on the scene, some in plain clothes, others that were armed and ready. He said they were doing the best they can to be able to control the crowd. He said they probably had as many as up to 3,000 people or so in regards to being out here. It was an open event, so it was out in the open, so people could have been anywhere. There wasn't like people had to go and check in bags or anything like that. So people could have been coming somewhere on campus and carrying a weapon or something like that, and maybe they would have not known it because it wasn't like they had to go through metal detectors or anything like that. So again, we just wrapped up a press conference right now. It was very quick. They didn't answer a lot of questions. They said the investigation is ongoing, but when it comes to the actual shooter, the person who took Charlie Kirk out, they say they have a person of interest right now. They're not saying, yes, we have the gunman, we're not looking for anybody else. They also have another person that they've taken into custody that was initially arrested, and now he's being charged possibly with obstruction of justice. And then they also have basically a lot of video coming in. They've got a lot of witnesses. They have people, as you heard on our station right here, as we interviewed witnesses, people that were just feet away from this shooting. So a lot of traumatization among students, a lot of difficult situation for students to be able to experience something like this. But again, we are hoping to get a little bit more answers, but just again, some strong words from Governor Cox in regards to what's happened here in Utah, and how it's a national and now international type of an event here. Political assassination is the words that he used. And he said that we do have the death penalty here in Utah. And whether or not that's a sign that they're going to try and seek that is one thing. But again, his condolences went out to the family and of Charlie Kirk, and just a real devastating situation for everybody involved. But again, that's kind of a wrap up of what happened here in this press conference. Still a lot of unanswered questions out there. Unfortunately, it would be nice if we were able to hear they've got the shooter in custody. They kind of know what happened here, who it was, and that they were done looking for people. But again, police are still out there, out and about, canvassing this campus and also neighborhoods, looking for this shooter, or looking to see if there's anybody else that may be connected to something like this. I'll send it back to you guys. Yes, exactly. You know, it would make sense in regards to somebody possibly being up on the roof there. Sorry, I'm not sure if I'm on or not, but it would make, yeah, I was just going to say, it would make sense possibly for somebody to be up on the roof there. The only reason why I say that is because we interviewed dozens of students here. You heard students from with Daniel Woodruff. You heard them with Andrew Adams. You heard them with Alex Cabrera, everybody. And nobody saw a shooter. Out of all those students, I mean, these are kids that were like right there at the event. They were feet away from it happening. All they heard was a gunshot, and then they saw Charlie Kirk drop. Nobody ever saw a shooter, which is very unusual. So that shot would have had to have come from some other location that was maybe a little bit further away, a little bit more outside. And that's something that Governor Cox talked a lot about too, as far as the attempted assassinations or of other political figures. And he mentioned obviously President Trump and what happened there. And so, this is a really sad, unfortunate situation that is happening with some of the political climate right here, not only in our nation, but across the world in that respect. I'll send it back to you guys.